Sucked him.
Hall of Famer Tito Santana, hoping to give.
Hello, hey guys, just 10 here with your 5 wrestling. What's your opinion?
And something like that than I have ever found. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you can hear the sweet, sultry sound of the notorious ATB. And
Teal 510. Welcome to the show.
That's right, folks. We're here. Look, we're apparently in the new Tornado Alley in Kentucky, so we're recording.
Yeah, May has not been a great month for Teal 5 Wrestling.
No, we dropped Waffle House and everything just went to shit. Yeah, that's what happens though. But you know what? We're making chicken salad out of it.
That's right, as we do here at Teal 5 Wrestling.
As we do. Kind of like Becky Lynch has done with her whole career. You see her here, the man comes to town. So she started her career at wrestling in Ireland, yada, yada, yada. She started out as Rebecca Knox. Pretty sure she had some matches in Evolve against Daisy Hayes that were decent, which Daisy could make anybody look good. So, of course.
Yeah, Daisy was great.
She signed with the WWE, becomes a top contender, goes to SmackDown and Backlash, and finally becomes relevant when she gets her nose broken and becomes the man. And at that point, everybody starts loving Becky Lynch. That's when I started really liking Becky Lynch. She is a good wrestler, but she's really a B+ in-ring performer. Her character of the man was the only thing that ever worked. And then when she got pregnant, she decided to take some time off. So she comes back, suddenly is in WrestleMania and takes the spot from somebody like Bayley, who deserves
Hold on.
What?
Hold on. You kind of just jumped through Becky. I think that it's to note that we should say that she's a 5-time WWE Women's Champion. She's a 2-time Raw Women's Champion, so she's a 7-time champ total. 1-time NXT champ. 1-time Women's Tag champ. She's a 2019 Women's Royal Rumble winner, and she's the first woman to ever hold both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships simultaneously. And
yeah, that was when she was relevant as Becky Two Belts. That was the only point that she was relevant to me. Tell me a good match that Becky had. Come on.
Becky versus Charlotte. Becky versus Sasha Banks. Asuka versus Becky versus Charlotte. Man, we could just keep trucking here. There's been some great Becky Lynch matches. He's a big-time player, big-time Bex.
Yeah, well, that's one. Now, if you like Till 5 Wrestling, you can go see our sponsor, Stover's Liquidation, at their Oak Ridge location at 481 Tulsa Road. They are open from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. They are closed on Sundays, and they can help you out with all of your home improvement needs. They have liquidation and wholesale quantities are available. Go see our good friends at Stover's. You can contact them at 865-523-4449. And now we're on to our second segment away from Becky Lynch, a segment that I'm actually really looking forward to here.
Yes, the flip side face-off.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of glad that we don't have our faces on here because this is one of my favorite graphics.
Yeah, that's a really fantastic graphic.
Yeah.
No AI used in this, Crander.
Yeah, we don't do AI around here.
We like human jobs.
So, the China came in professional wrestling as a bodyguard.
Right.
Ended up kind of breaking the mold, interacting with men. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it was very original for the time and people were really into it.
Yeah, this is a woman who won the Intercontinental Championship twice in an era when they didn't have a women's mid-card title.
And was in the Royal Rumble. First woman ever in the Royal Rumble with the men.
Yeah, she did. in fact, she was the Intercontinental Champion more than she was the Women's Champion. Let that
That's
sink
true.
in. So China, of course, is one of the originators. They're both going to be in this tournament. China's probably my favorite part. I'm going to guess your favorite part of her career, though, was the Latino Heat era.
Oh, definitely, man, with Eddie, for
Yeah.
sure.
And then Rhea pretty much had the same storyline with Dom recently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was nice how that.
yeah, it's very much a two sides of the same coin here with these women. I'm excited to see how far they both go in our tournament on May 30th at 7 p.m.
That's true. I'll tell you what, man, Rhea Ripley is so over right now in real life, and I kind of said the same thing about Toni Storm a few episodes ago. Rhea's another one that I think might just win this thing.
She might. I actually expect China to go further just because of how big she's been in wrestling.
China is a legitimate icon.
She is.
Yeah.
But, we'll find out. Heck, we might not get either one of these women, so we're going to have to work to take one of them out.
Yeah, that's true. There's another two women that we could wind up getting ATV.
There are. We could end up with Bull Nakano and Alundra Blaze here.
Yes, and I wouldn't mind having either one, man. Alundra Blaze, of course, worked all over the world. In WCW, she was Medusa, but here, Alundra Blaze, because we're going to talk about this.
Well, the alliteration just works better.
Yeah, Bull and Blaze is better than Bull and Medusa.
Yeah, but
she's a 3-time WWF Women's Champ, man.
Well, I like the Medusa performer. Like, I like that end of her career. I was a WCW guy, you know this. I do appreciate the fact that not only did they wrestle in the WWF at SummerSlam in '94, but they turned around and wrestled at Hog Wild in, I think it was '96 for WCW.
Yeah, and I think that was a good idea on WCW's part because it had done so well at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I would think that if either company had had some women to really push with these two, we might have had a women's revolution way earlier in wrestling.
Well, women's wrestling was alive and well in Japan with Bull Nakano and Aja Kong, but it never really made its way here full time.
No, you didn't have enough good women wrestlers at the time. You had them as managers.
It was very stop-start. In fact, the WCW Women's Championship was so non-existent that Medusa never even won it. She was a cruiserweight champion instead.
Yeah. Didn't she beat Oklahoma for it?
She sure did.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think she lost it to Kidman, maybe?
Probably.
But these women really could have been the forefront of professional wrestling. But
yeah, Bull Nakano, also a WWF Women's Champion in her rank and racked up every title you could possibly win in Japan.
Yeah, instead they kind of got lost in the shuffle amongst all the men, and the real change in women's wrestling being relevant and it being okay, they should have actual matches was Trish Stratus and Lita, who seem to have fought forever and been intertwined forever.
I felt like it was a very great slow burn, whether it was intentional or not.
I mean,
they were the opposite of each other.
They were. Of course, Lita was always the character that was the good girl that was there to make sure to stand up for what was right, and Trish was the one that she's just a bitch. She was there to ruin everything.
Well, it's even down to the visual aspect and the wrestling aspect. Trish was more of a technical worker, blonde, Barbie doll type. At the time, that was what was big. And Lita, of course, high flyer, which was very rare at that time for a woman's wrestler.
And, I mean, as far
kind
as
of a goth punk look.
Their relevancy in wrestling, my dog that I kind of consider my soul mutt was named Trish. So, yeah.
I should have mentioned in the China, my dog's name is China.
Yeah, so there we go. That's clearly these women are very relevant in wrestling.
Yeah.
I hate that we kind of had to cram them in together, but I feel like that works for what we're doing. leading into the
I
live, because I don't want to give away too much of our argument, really.
That's what I was going to say. I don't want to get too in depth on these women because we're going to have to break it down in the live.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a taste.
Yeah. So Trish, both of these women really were intertwined in some great storylines throughout wrestling, particularly with Kane and Vince McMahon, respectively. Now, as far as matches against each other, when you really look at it, they didn't have any that were that great according to fans and according to the Wrestling Observer.
When I was checking out cage match, it's because that I would say 80% of them are less than 2 minutes in length.
Well, that's women's wrestling for you.
I mean, especially during the time, but they did have 3 that stand out to me that I wrote down. I don't know what you've got as far as that goes.
Well, I think it's funny that in the span of 6 years, they only shared the ring 13 times together.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was very groundbreaking at the time for wrestling. But nowadays, how many times has Charlotte Flair shared the ring with Bayley?
Probably at least 25, I would imagine. 30.
Yeah. But for these two, it was
13.
Yeah, we feel like it was forever, or I felt like it was forever, but in reality, they fought each other less than Cena and Orton have in their careers.
When notoriously, no pun intended, they retired intertwined. The first time before they
I thought
came
that
back.
was kind of perfect that those two.
Yeah, it really was the
retired
perfect
together.
end.
Yeah,
perfect end.
Now, my favorite storyline, honestly, for both of them, was the Christian and Chris Jericho storyline.
Yeah, man, that's good stuff.
It was so funny. Like I can sleep with her first. No, I can sleep with her first.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Another thing that I really loved when Lita managed Edge, man, when that was a thing.
Yes.
Lita's with Edge was fantastic.
Well, and the pop when Trish Stratus turned on Vince McMahon at WrestleMania.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah,
that was good shit. They're iconic.
Yeah, they were iconic, and they blew the roof off the place.
Yep. Either one of these two women could win. There's a lot of these women in this tournament. This is no joke. This is going to be a really hard tournament. It's actually going to be a little harder than the men's tournament, I think.
I think it will be substantially harder than the men's
because there is so much ground to cover with all these women. All the women, well, most of the women that we have in the tournament bracket are absolute trailblazers.
Yeah. And I want to make sure to give a shout out to our sponsors who make this possible. Our good friends at Stover's Liquidation. Tan, you want to take this one?
Yep. They've got liquidation and wholesale home improvement. Truckload quantities available at www.stoversliquidation.com. You can go check them out at 452 West Broad Street, Cookeville, Tennessee, 38501, or give them a call at 931-526-2591 and tell them Till 5 sent you.
Don't hurt me there, Tan FK. It was a lot of fun to make you read that one.
I figured that was a little rib. That's what. Well, let's get syndicated.
So, Hurt Business, Tom.
Yeah, so Bobby Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, originally with Cedric Alexander in WWE.
He missed his cue there. I was trying to let you do the syndicate rib again.
You ribbed me too much reading the ad read, man.
I'm really glad that we're finally. This is technically the third time that we've covered Hurt Syndicate. Do you realize that?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, guys. We have had technical difficulties
I guess fourth time because we've had audio issues twice now.
Yeah.
We lost the episode once. Denver Dave disappeared thanks to Brandstetter Music.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah. Brock Burton. You know, Dylan wouldn't do this to us. We need to get a hold of Dylan.
Dylan wouldn't do this to us. He seems like a genuine guy.
Yeah. Dylan's good people. He's out there making bracelets. London Strong. That's
right. London Strong.
You know, I'm really glad that we're finally getting to cover the Hurt Syndicate seriously. We kind of messed with your mom with our April Fool's episode, and
Hi,
I guess
Mom.
we were jinxed.
Yeah, we did get jinxed. She cursed us.
Yeah. So here we are trying to atone yet again with the Hurt Syndicate. They started out as the Hurt Business in the WWE.
Yep. And they had Cedric Alexander with him, of course.
I assume eventually he'll join in AEW, even though we've already got MJF.
I hope Cedric joins. I would actually like to see an interesting swerve where they don't turn on, or MJF doesn't turn on them, but Cedric joins the Hurt Syndicate and they turn on MJF.
I kind of hope maybe that we get a double turn. Sammy turns on Dustin and MJF turns on him.
And then they're together.
Yeah, like those two guys can run off and be besties again or something like that. I know that MJF ain't going to be in there long. Even though
it's going to be fun.
Even though he does match that suit game.
Yeah, the suit game's great.
Yeah, those guys, they look fresh to death every week. That gold and black, it just pops. So they've got the look, they've got the mic skills with MVP out there.
Yeah, MVP on the mic is a treat, man. He's fantastic every week. He always manages to pop me.
Yeah, and he can turn the crowd around in 10 words or less. Get them to hate him immediately. It's great.
Well, we've talked about all that, but let's say that another cool thing about them is they started around the pandemic era in WWE as the Hurt Business, like we said with Cedric.
Yep.
They dominated in WWE. They all held gold at the same time. MVP US champ, Bobby Lashley world champ, and Cedric and Shelton tag champs. It's freaking awesome. They split very prematurely.
Absolutely, because that's what WWE does.
None of them had direction at all after that. It was a shame.
And they were just lost for years until they got their contracts finally ended.
And they all decided, hey, let's go to AEW. Let's have some fun.
Let's go have fun, make money, and hurt people.
We can finish our careers here and have some fun.
Yeah, and that's what they've done. They have they beat up Swerve Strickland.
Yeah.
They beat up
the Outrunners.
Private Party got beat up so bad they still ain't showed back up.
So did the Guns.
The Guns,
the Outrunners.
The Outrunners, they showed back up, but they're still getting beat up.
MVP destroyed Top Flight so bad on the mic they didn't show up the last couple of weeks either.
They've destroyed Crew at this point.
That
yeah,
that was going to probably happen anyway. Point is, they're beating the hell out of everybody, but I'm ready to see them beat the hell out of an actual contender, and I think Sammy and Dustin are going to deliver a good match with them.
Absolutely. I think that it'll be a good chance for Dustin to shine.
I think Sammy will sell his ass off.
Part of me really wants the Sons of Texas to go into All In as tag team champions.
Well, they are tag team champs and trios champs of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, but it's AEW All In. I would like to see them come in as...
Honestly, what I would like to see is the Hurt Syndicate beat them so bad that they don't even make it to Texas.
Wow. All right. Tan's going to be the notorious one here.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm all about it, man. We hurt people. I'm all about it. That's my favorite thing going in the wrestling right now besides Timeless Tony Storm.
Absolutely. Timeless Tony Storm, who may end up winning our women's tournament next week.
Hope so.
Yeah, that will be the episode for everybody next week. We're just going to go live with it, folks.
Yep, it's going to be nuts.
It may be an hour, it may be 3 hours. Who knows? It's going to be a good time and great memories right here on Till 5 Wrestling.
It's going to hopefully not be 3 hours.
Look, man, I'm hoping that we can get it over with by 9 o'clock, but I don't think that'll be how it goes.
We had some bad reviews from our fans on the last time we decided to do our 3.5 hour men's tournament. Hopefully we can.
Well, we cut the field in half this time, so hopefully we can pull it off.
Hey, we can do this. Just don't try no funny shit this time, Juice.
Well, Brett screwed Brett according to Douchebox.
Tan screwed Sean, and don't ever forget that.
All right. That's 5.
For Brett. Oh, by the way, one more thing before we sign off here.
What?
Fuck Bill Goldberg.
Well, that's not nice. What did Bill Goldberg ever do to you?
Fuck Bill Goldberg.
Why? What did Bill Goldberg ever do to you?
You know what Bill Goldberg did to me? You know what Bill Goldberg did to Brett?
What?
Fuck Bill